beloved Ascension Pioneers, and welcome to my video about the White Mother Flame and the purpose rays of incarnation and of our mastery. So for a while now I wanted to do this video, but today finally the right divine timing came. It was time, the guidance came, and I did something extra. I painted like this vision of to use to help you have a better visual. So this week for me it's all about the Divine Mother. And somehow the energy began speaking to me again this Sunday, and yesterday was Monday. We went to this hike. It was a pilgrimage road to Mother Mary's Hill here in Italian Alps. There's this beautiful peak that overlooks the tallest Western Alps in Italy. And I'm planning also to go on another peak that has a statue of Mother Mary, but it's very tall and the conditions are already a bit sharp, so I will see if I can do that this week. And because on this note, finally things are lining up, I felt really guided to finally bring this topic through for all of us, because I've been promising it now for a week, and I just, I feel this is time. I want to explain this in terms to really get you to look at this in a very simplistic way, and also to explain it in a way, a bit of maybe through my own example, to make you see that, we're not supposed to be so afraid to have a knowing of where we are, what we serve, how we're walking our path, and it's just time, and a lot of us really gained our full divine remembrance, and we just know. So it's important that we share this, what we know, so that other people who are ready and are still waking up in this divine remembrance, that they have a chance to awake as well. The whole solemn purpose of why I was guided to do this is not just talk about the white ray or the white mother flame, but because I see a lot of individuals are still confusing the individual rays of purpose in terms of the energies that we move through when we have different spirit initiations. So let's say when you start your journey from the most physical up, and you reach your soul star chakra once you start really activating your divine remembrance, and then you can enter the stellar gateway, you can enter real source connection and the I am connection. And then when you start to really then go back down to bring it forth into actual physical embodiment. So this is what this painting will show as well, this physical representation. And what it really means to walk our ascension pillar of light, to walk our white ascension column, and how this is experienced in the duration of creation. It's important that we see the difference between the belonging ray, which is the ray of our own mastery, of our own focus, like each ascended master has its own as well, as opposed to different energies we're moving through. So let's say you're opening your cosmic heart, you're moving through the magenta pink, or let's say you're working in communication, you're working with blue, or you're working with deep royal cobalt blue when you're walking through divine will gateway. And these are not the same. So we must not mistaking these initiations that we're going through when we activate ourselves on our ascension journey with the ray of our own personal service. So something that we are mastering this path, and I'll share this later. But before I start and I show you the painting, which is not very fancy because I did it just in half an hour, so it's just to get you a visual about it. Because sometimes visuals really help, and I was asking the Divine Mother, the Divine White Light, to show me the most simplistic vision of this, and this is what she showed me. Before I start, I want to read something that I already shared on my page, and this will be a part of my new upcoming webpage, Serapina Light, which is going to be all about that Divine Mother Light and how I cultivated in my own Serapina Light journey. And this will be a part of that page as well. And I want to read this to you to make you really feel the energy. What the essence of this is, of this message, is not the words of themselves, it's the essence behind it and permeating all life in creation. So this is the Divine Mother that speaks to us through all of us, and let me read it now. So the Divine Mother, the goddess of all life, she's known under many names you might know, and the great Gnostics called her the Sophia, Pistis Sophia. She's also known as Ashwera, or some call it Isis, some even say Mother Mary is the great Divine Mother. So these are different aspects. What this means is that the beings that were serving that white mother light, and they on their path, they were able to channel through and to embody to embody, well, to connect through and bring into their physical embodiment the light of the Holy Spirit. That doesn't mean they themselves, they are the Holy Spirit, but they were all vessels for that. So they were all the representatives of what happens when you allow the Divine Mother be embodied through you. So she lives in all life. So basically the Divine Mother is all life in creation. That's what it is. So everything, all life in creation and all the variation with all different rays, everything that we sometimes still say it's separate and we kind of put it in different piles, it's all in oneness. So this is what the white Mother Ray is. It is a white universal ray of ascension where it all gathers as one. It's a white unity consciousness. It's in complete purity, humility, and devotion to ascension. And it's one thing to be ascending into the white Mother Light, which is what happens in our ascension, and to also be those who are already serving that. So that's the difference. Okay, so I'm going to first read this message and then we'll go through with the painting. So the Divine Mother, which is life itself, speaks. I move through you. I move through you in loving grace in all magnificent ways. I am the essence of true love, touching lives upon the planet, transforming all through the empowerment of the great Goddess. She lives in everything and everyone, and has so many different names. I am the essence of each man and woman, here on high and brought into form. My magic lies in soul alchemy, which has the power to set all life in creation free. I can only work my magic when I'm called upon, when I'm approached in pure mind and heart with untouched humility. There is no ego where I am, only the power of true love that can move mountains and remember itself through the power of the individual. I am the walking grace in flesh, brought through wisdom into form, with the purpose to transform. I am the life's power. I am every element and every hour. I am each song, and each essence of life flows through me first. My heart is infinite and it knows no space, such as the arms of a wide, loving embrace. Do not seek for me in books or scriptures, for it is not there that I dwell. I live in the living force of life so full, so come and join me in the great outdoors. And this is where we are, the Divine Mother, all life. So once you start ascending into the white Mother Light, you begin to culminate in all your experiences and all your rainbow, multidimensional, multifractional self. So first I'm going to show you this visual and then I will explain it a bit and to give you a basics of this understanding, which of course, as always, it's important that it comes through you. When you really remember this through the white Mother Flame, you will know this yourself. So why the visual I feel is so important, because it has an essence. So through words, I can only bring through a certain amount. Words fail us at things that are really coming from that core truth, which is pure light. It's pure essence. So this is the visual. I hope you can see it. So the visual, what it says, what it has here is, first there's a column of white Mother Light. And this column, once it starts to bring itself into creation, as we know the white Mother Light as the white creation light. And we have, when it starts to move through creation, a translucent, beautiful prism. So this is like this is supposed to be a prism. And it spins in one direction. So it moves out of itself to become, it moves out in life, into form. And as it does so, as we know this, as the perfect embodiment of the counterclockwise and clockwise, so moving in and out, we know this is the number 6 and 9. And this is the eternal yin and yang spinning outwards and then inwards back again. So source moving, creating life, and returning to source once again with that life force that it gathers and that it becomes in so many different ways. So once this white light moves through the prism, and with the combination of the golden light, which is always the light of that self, the light of source, the golden light, the liquid golden light, together, when this comes through the prism, as you can see, this starts to, in a vortex space, in a toroidal field, and behind this it's like a circle, it representing the planet, but we can see this because the rainbow spectrum flows through it. So once this life force, this pure potent white light that becomes life force, moves through the prism, it expands and it becomes all these different rainbow parts, the rainbow rays. And this is brought into form, let's say a certain planetary existence, okay? So we have here, why it is black and white in the middle is because we know this when we really are in the perfect state of yin and yang, and this is also how I channel it forth in my art, which is black and white with that gold, is when we really embody that internal polarity in all ways. So we're complete balance of our existent self, not existent self, when we're moving as kind of like divine word in flesh, let's call it like that, as many ancients, I think they already called it this way. So black is the absence of all light, and white is the source of all light. So white is all different colors, and black is the absence of colors. So this is what it means. From that void, from nothingness, you start to get this beautiful rainbow light, and it's multidimensional. It has these many spectrums, and it goes from red to white in the middle. So why do I always say that the combination of red and white is the I am embodiment? Because that's what it is. It's that which is the most external range, moving itself back into the core of the white light. And we can see here the rays that go from red and orange and yellow and green and turquoise and blue, cobalt blue, royal purple, violet, and we have magenta pink, Divine Mother's Love. And then we have pink, that pure pink, compassion. Then we have, no, pardon me, before we had purple. Now we have royal purple, and then we have copper, gold, gold, silver, and then white again. So this all represents something, you know, tune into what you can feel through it. So these are the most important colors. What this means is that, how can I explain colors in such a way, is that on each level of our experience that we attune to on this level, they'll be different. That's why we had the 7 basic chakra system. We said we were 7 colors. Although we know this is not the whole part. So when we move out, when we expand in a more aware part of us, which is it's more conscious of things in overall, we see things. So each color also has a color addition. It's like we get add-ons. So that's what we say, ooh, it's no longer the basic 7. So now we say basic 7 rays, now we have 13 rays, and so on and so on. So with each fraction of a certain multidimensional light potent, there's also an ability for that micro to expand in different ways. So it has subsequent particles of it. I don't know how to really explain this in English, but you need to feel it yourself. So when this happens, when you as an individual soul, and we're birthed, everything is birthed through the white mother light, we're all of that mother light, but that's not the same as having a certain ray of purpose and focusing on that and really fulfilling yourself, living yourself in self-realization. So you live as self-realized when you remember what was the purpose, what was the specific focus, so I call them the rays of focus, that you have chosen for yourself, that you are mastering on this level where you are now, and maybe through timelines and lifetimes. So when you as an individual soul, you enter through this prism and you enter into, let's say, an exploration of density for the first time, and you say, I will master this. You choose a specific ray, and this is where you work on with your mastery. I'll give you one specific example here to make you more, to make it more tangible, okay? Because sometimes these archetypes for individuals are not yet so easy to understand, so they need something more substantial. Although, with truth, you can't really dissect it too much, because then you just distort it. It's no longer that simple. It's no longer that pure. You already added a whole bunch of complicated things to it, which is no longer the essence of truth in the beginning. So, you need to feel those things. Really feel them through the core of your own remembrance, which is within the white mother light column. It's same for all. So no matter what you're choosing to explore as an individual, you're also always connected with that white mother light that created all life in creation. So then, when you choose a specific, you master that. And I will give you an example. let's say there was a soul who was working with, let's take the example of my mother. She always knew how to work with children, and she was a nursery teacher, a kindergarten teacher. She was babysitting, all these things, and even in this lifetime she has chosen to have me, you know, a child on a mission, a universal guide kind of child that will be preparing for a specific mission to be of worldly service, and she knew that. And the whole reason why she was chosen to do that is because she has those abilities, because she was mastering that in her lifetimes. So this was her specific focus. So during a certain cycles, which we say it's time-based, but it's just cycles in creation. So during a specific cycle, she was mastering all of that, and she was always focused on that ray. She had different roles to play, you know, different lives, different scenarios, but this was her. Somebody else might have something else, but this is important because the focus, whatever it is, when you're aligned with it, you're always going to be self-realized. Self-realization doesn't mean that you have a purpose when you just sit and meditate and now you're self-realized. Self-realization means that you follow what your soul was predestined to follow and then to expand into through self-mastery. So during a specific cycle, you're mastering something. When the cycle is complete, what happens is, let's say your oversoul has a specific plan for you. You're a part of the oversoul, which is something so grand that you, with your human mind right now, cannot perceive. Okay, it's very difficult to put into words, basically impossible. So when this cycle is complete on a certain level, what happens then is that there's another prism here in the opposite direction spin that then gathers again this light, all of the rainbow, and brings it back. And this is what ascension is about. Physical ascension. You gather it back, and once again you move it into, create this column of white light. I couldn't really paint it so because I can't paint, you know, over this top. It's more like a column, but it moves upward again. So if I would be representing this through the basic description, would say when we move out of the white light into creation, into these rays of focus, what we do is we descend. And when this is again gathered here, again in this other counter-moving spiral, we again are gathered back, entering again that white flame. And here all this mastery, all these experiences are again reborn. They are perfected in the white mother flame. They're brought back. And when this happens, when the ascension happens, that it happens with a lot of masters, what happens on this level is not that some people say you go back to source and you stop existing as individual essence. That is not true. What happens is that you usually choose during that which is your specifics, which you master, you serve, you move into service, so you become, let's say, a universal guide in a specific service. But there is something very specific here that Spirit wanted me to mention, and I know that most of you already, is you can also choose to move back into the worlds of density and explore and have another focus. The beings that have had all the experiences possible, but again, it was focused on a specific, it was always like a specific creation. It's very hard to put into words, but try to feel what I'm saying here, okay? You have this in your heart. You can again move back into density and explore more and master different things. And again, you're going to move back up. But this is why I'm always saying that there's those who have already ascended. But they come here to share, and these are these pillars. Why is it important that this doesn't just happen naturally, but in the physical it's very important to have pillars, and there's people who are with the purpose of being a pillar, and I know this for myself because it's in everything that I do. It's always been this way. I have gathered people, I have gathered information, I've gathered everything, and I was just bringing it together back into that white column. And this is what I do. I serve the white light. The white ray is the unification ray. It is the connector ray. It connects all of these different rays of purposes together, and it moves them back into the remembrance of, even though what you have been mastering, what you have been experiencing, you are still of that mother light. And when you're ready to bring that back into the white mother light, as in what we call ascension or resurrection or whatever it is, you bring that back into the light of the Holy Spirit, and you ascend in your white column of light. And like I said, you can then on that cycle, you can start a new cycle with the new experiences of density, or you start serving. And for me, I can just share my example. It's what Spirit showed me. There's a group of beings that I belong to that we always act as, we always serve the White Mother Light. We always serve the Holy Spirit. And we move into the creation worlds that are ascending and the beings that are ready to ascend, and we assist that ascension because we serve the white ray of ascension. That is the pillar that culminates that and cultivates that experience and then lifts it back and shares and shows how it is when your ascension experience begins, when you're ready for it. That's why you can't force this to everybody, because not every soul is yet that on that cycle and that lifetime and that experience. Also, one thing that Spirit really wanted me to share today is why sometimes we feel we don't have certain gifts and some people have them and we feel like not acknowledged, or why are we less? And we say somebody has certain gifts and we're jealous. We say, who do they think they are? That's ego. That's not humility. That's not knowing your own purpose and just really knowing what it is about. It's you not understanding when you're like this. You're not accepting, and you're not wanting to see your gifts and your specifics, because there's always specifics needed for the whole. I was just reading in Dolores Cannon's book about Jesus. They walked with Jesus, and one example there shared with a person who was a part of those groups that were traveling and doing the work was that he was not at all how it was portrayed in the Bible. Like, he did everything himself. He was just like God, nothing else, no one else besides him. He needed the people. He needed people who were predecessors, who were we would call in now times and in our times, public resources, you know, and you're gathering information, you know where to go, which village, where to go. All these people, some were seeking for, let's say, people they will stay with. Everything was needed. So he had the disciples, and everything needed to come together in its own uniqueness within the variation of creation. And when we think that there's just this in creation, that there's like we like to say we're all one, yes, but in creation we're also unique, and we have for a reason specific gifts and talents, because this diversity and this vastness cannot just have one thing. Not everybody can be a healer. Not everybody will be, I don't know, everybody now wants to be an angel card reader. It's absurd, you know. Not everybody can have the same purpose on this planet. It's not self-realization. And when you really know, when you know your ray of focus, and it will start coming to you when you're ready. Don't try to force it. It's a natural path. It's a very natural progression that just leads you there. You know, in my own example, I was never thinking about it even. You know, when I was ready, thoughts started popping up, and all of a sudden I was like, what am I even thinking that? I was just ready. It was time for me. So when the time comes, you will know, the guidance will come. Things in your physical life will start showing you messages. So instead of thinking, why don't I have this gift and this person does? Let's say somebody has a profound gift of dreams and having prophetic dreams and seeing visions and dreams and all these things. And you are more of a healer. You have more, like, maybe you know homeopathy. I can't even say it. Maybe you're very good with natural remedies and all these things. And this is what you were mastering in those cycles, and for a reason. And it doesn't mean that now you're any less special. There's somebody else. Everybody in their uniqueness, everybody's special. But for you to know what you bring, what you cultivate, what you are mastering, this is the greatest gift you can offer to the world, because then you can really empower yourself in that. And once you bring it to the whole, you bring it to the prism, and you start bringing that back into the White Mother Light in full humility and full surrender, in your inner wholeness and completion, and you know yourself realized. Okay, so it's really important to understand that why we have certain gifts, and follow that line of messages, what this is trying to tell us. And this tells us a lot about our ray of focus. For me, it was always about purity. It was always about delivering these messages of ascension, of humility, of what it is, you know, how resurrection, the real resurrection, you know, not what they sold us in the Bible, what this is really about. And when you have the knowledge, when you come, you know, in this level, and you're guided to either move back into creation and create a new cycle of experience, or moving to the universal service, then you will know. And on a soul level, we all choose. And I think it's really important to talk about this, because just to see certain colors or to feel a certain connection with a specific color at a certain time doesn't mean this is it. It might just mean that you're going, because the spirit path, you know, in ascension is always that of initiations. They will lead you to those states of being that are like stepping stones to this part. You know, when you're gathering, it's not just the overall gathering, it's also you gathering all of that into your own inner pillar, because it's all micro and macro, you know, what I'm trying to say here. So it's very important to understand this, because when you will know your initiations, you will see that they're moving, they're always in the movement, something's always shifting. But the things that stay, that are like the overall you, that is your soul, because the things that are changing and shifting, they're part of your personality, which was meant to be. It was created for a purpose, for mastering of the specifics. And then you move again, and the prism gathers. So the prism is how life comes through the prism and becomes these beautiful rays. And then again, the prism, when it's ready, it gathers, and this is when the ascension begins. So we have descension and ascension back up. So that's why I always say that there's beings here who do not need to ascend. They already are ascended, but they assist the ascension of other beings who are maybe ascending for the first time. Or, you know, there's different scenarios. But for me, I know that how Spirit showed me is, it's just very important for me to know it. And for you, it's important for you to know your own. It's not so much, you know, this is, I get it, you know, now the whole world needs to be like me. And it's very important to know your uniqueness. Because when you understand it to every degree, to every level, you will know why, for example, you do not have those specific gifts and why you had those. And you will focus more on that, which you have, instead of, oh, what am I lacking? It's never a lack. Your soul knows what it wants to master, what it wants to really bring into expansion, and it's very natural. The mind doesn't always understand, so it wants to analyze and it wants to move against the flow. But when you really move with the flow, you will know, and things will naturally be revealed to you. And as you move through each and every one of those initiations, you will understand. So look at your life, you know, look at your feelings. What were you always eager about? Passion. What were your natural gifts? Not that you were trying so hard. You know, sometimes I see people so badly want to be like somebody else that they admire. Why? You know, you are so unique, you're special, just like that person maybe that you admire. You don't need to become like them. The creation needs you, because you are the core of the existence. Whether you know it or not, you are. And the more, you know, and the sooner you will begin to remember your importance, the sooner you'll bring your authenticity and your mastery into the greater pillar of the whole. So, this is it for today. I hope this helps you to better perceive your own ascension path. The white mother flame, when you start really merging with the white mother flame, it's just an incomprehensible experience, and you will feel it. You will feel it. Okay, dear beloveds, this is it for now. I'm sending you, as always, so many blessings, and as always, so much love, wisdom, and power. And please do take a note that I'm going to try to do my new webpage in November, and as always, in divine timing. And that for now, I don't share so much on my Facebook, on my personal profile anymore. I don't have time to do that anymore. That's why I really created the Ascension Pioneers page on Facebook anyway. So I'm sharing there. I hope to see you there. And I think these are the updates for now. The rest will be later, and always more. Always something more. I'll see you soon. Take care. Bye. Hey guys, I made it. I can't believe I'm actually here, standing on one of the tallest peaks in the Julian Alps in Italy. There's the Slovene side, and this is where I was about a month ago, Montasio. This one is Jofort, we call it Vish. And I'm still a bit breathless, although, because as you can see, there's quite a bit of ice, and it was not an easy path. It wasn't as easy as Mary's pilgrimage on Monday. So I wanted to show you how a life of my own looks, and although you might see everything as wow and crystalline pure and so beautiful, today there was so much difficulty with it to climb. Quite icy. I hope I get back down safely. And I just wanted to bring you a bit of this energy and add this to this video of the Divine Mother Light. And we will wrap it up with Mother Mary's statue. And I'm going to try to go towards it. Hope I don't drop myself. on this ice. So I really have to be careful. Okay, so this is Mary, and she and I, we're sending you beautiful greetings from this beautiful sacred space, and so much love, as always, wisdom and power. Bye-bye.